Hey everyone, it's Christine Maggi, Design Gal, coming at you with another video. In this series on getting started in a career in UI UX, I thought it would be good to start out with kind of an overview and define some of these terms so you know exactly what it is you're getting into and can answer some questions when your family and friends inevitably ask you, wait, what is it again? It happens. It just does. All right, so very simply, UI UX stands for user interface / user experience. I'll go over those individually, but when I say UI UX, it can actually go by several different names, which is kind of confusing. The most popular one would be product design, or specifically digital product design. While user experience applies to any product, whether it's a physical product or a digital product, when I talk about UX, I mean for a digital product. So that can be anything from a mobile app to a piece of software on your computer to a website. Anything digital that you interact with as a user has a user experience component to it, and that's why we like to say digital product designer or product designer. So now that I've covered that, I want to get into what exactly UX is specifically. So UX, user experience, right? This is everything that has to do with the overall, I hate to say, experience a user has with a product. There is not just one thing that makes up an experience. There is many things that go into what that experience actually is. So some things that we consider when we're thinking about user experience is the context in which someone is going to be using the product. So the time of day. Are they going to be at home? Are they on the go, walking around on the streets? Are they outside? Are they lying in bed? Context. The language that is used, so the tone of voice that comes through even in the tiny little words on the buttons, to the content that's on the screen when you first sign up for an application, how serious it sounds, how playful or fun it sounds, and a really important one, how easy it is for someone to actually find what they're looking for or achieve the goal that they have when they're using the product. Another good one, the level of effort required to actually accomplish that task or do that thing. So all these things and even more all go into what makes the experience either a good one or a bad one for the user. So what exactly is UI? I'm so glad you asked. UI, meaning user interface, is actually a part of user experience. So user experience has this huge umbrella of things. User interface is just one of those things within the user experience. As someone who started as a visual designer, I know how important the actual visual design of something can affect whether or not something is perceived well. The user interface is really that top layer on top of the entire experience because it's what the person actually sees and interacts with. So again, look and feel. Things like color, typography, just that visual varnish on top of the structure and the strategy underneath that all together makes up the user experience. UI and visual design can be a great way to help your user do what they need to do. You can use that user interface to direct the user, to make things clearer, to give things breathing room. All those types of things are really important. But again, it is just a part of the overall experience. There are things out there that look really great but have a really terrible user experience, and unfortunately people will stop using it if it doesn't actually work, right? So while the visual is super important and something I'm really into and passionate about, that is not enough to have a good user experience. You really need everything else along with it in order for it to work well. All right, so now that we kind of know what these two are, when we talk about product design, UI UX design, what exactly are the goals that we're trying to achieve? I want to say first that all design is about solving problems, and user experience design, user interface design, no different. In particular though, when we talk about product design, we are sort of merging together several different goals. We have obviously the user goals, the user needs. So how are we helping the user solve that problem or do that thing that they'd like to do? Those users have goals. Additionally though, we're also having to combine the user goals with the business goals. What's going to not only help the user, but also help the business do what it needs to do as well. If you design just for the business and not the user, no one's really going to use it. But if you design for the user and it's great for them, but not great for the business, hate to say it, but the business is going to lose money and go out of business, and then there will be no product. So it is really important to have both. And the last thing I want to say about the goals is that yes business needs, yes user needs, we also have to make sure that what we're making is technically possible. In the beginning, when you are ideating, coming up with these great ideas, ultimately it has to serve all these different goals, but also be something that is actually doable with technology, with the developers you have, in the time frame that you need it to be done by, etc. So there's a lot of different factors that go into it, but I wanted to just cover the reason and the purpose behind making some of these things and what you should think about when you're designing. All right, so that was a short and sweet overview of what exactly UI UX are. I hope that was helpful. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel. I'm in the middle of a series on getting started in UI UX. I've got a lot of topics to cover that you have requested, and so I want to help you in any way I can. Leave your comments below if you have any other ideas or questions for me that I can turn into a future video. This series is really to help you get started and get down the path of learning and growing and coming into this industry. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.